Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. We're live right now with PGL F1, the Sunday division, for round 10 of 23 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and getting started here right now. So let's see what our grid looks like. We got 19 drivers on the grid. We got Codfish, we got Sniper, we got Scooby, we got Beefy, we got Nick there, we got Gremlin, we got Mikey, Eaton, we got Butler, Walker, we got Short Marcus, we got Mr. Rage, DT Bears, we got King Curbs, we got Vintage, Mad Nathan, Vans Racing, Neil, and Maddie there. So quite an interesting grid to work with. And let's see, we got our first drivers for starting to get out on track already. I think already Haas is out on track. And let's see which one that is, and that is Mad Nathan there, already out on an outlap getting around this track here. So let's get a few stats up on screen. I think our map is already up, and we're getting started with qualifying 1 as it is here right now. So 18 minutes already started, down to 17 minutes already for this session. We're gonna get through qualifying 1, 2, and 3, and then to the formation lap and our race session, which we're definitely looking forward to see how it's going to go. But of course, we do have to get through the qualifying session and see how these guys are going to be stacking up on the grid in terms of starting positions, because they're going to try to get the best possible start in the session as they can. We'll see how that works out for them at this point. So for everyone joining on the live stream right now, welcome guys. Thank you guys for joining on the live stream today. And please guys, make sure that you do leave a like on the stream for us, and make sure if you guys are new onto the stream, new onto the channel, either way, just make sure you guys subscribe, because we do have a lot of different races going on over the course of a week. As you can see, this is basically what we do around here most of the time anyway. And yeah, so just subscribe to the channel if you are new, or if you haven't done so as yet. Make sure you guys do that, and make sure you guys do leave that like on the stream. Even if you are watching the video afterwards, after it's done here, please guys, make sure you do leave a like. It does help us out a lot with that portion of it. So we're gonna have some cars getting started on their hot laps here very soon, and hopefully by the time we get to the race session, it gets fully dark on this track and we can see the lights, and the track lights up, and looks pretty quite interesting actually in the night. So gonna be fun to see how that works as well. As we can see, we're already down to very late in the evening on the track session there. Alright, so we got Mad Nathan getting started on his hot lap here right now. We'll follow someone on board in just a bit to see how their lap around this track is going. But for now, let's keep an eye and see how the lap times are going to start to come in, because a few drivers have started their hot laps there right now. So we're looking forward to see some very competitive lap times as well. We're going to see how well they stack up on the grid as that gets through. So 19 drivers in this session, should be an average about 15 drivers making it over to qualifying 2. So we'll see how it works out in terms of that, and hopefully we're going to see some very competitive lap times by the time we get down into qualifying 3 for the start of this race. It's going to be quite interesting to see how that works out. Of course, not overly a long run getting down into turn 1, and it's quite fast around this track, so it's going to be very interesting to see what sort of lap times we're going to be seeing, and how that starting grid out front is going to look, at least between the top 10 or top 5 getting around into turn 1. Is going to be interesting, especially with the midfield. We might definitely have some contact between a few cars, and so we'll see how it goes. Very good overtaking opportunity down there in sector 2 by that very long straight, getting down into the chicane down at the end. Heavy braking zone, so we'll see how cars tend to handle that as well. Also, a good portion of track to overtake would be getting around, getting to the end of sector 2 there before getting to sector 3. That's a pretty good straight down around there as well. We'll see how it works out though as they get through that. I think the pit straight is even a good opportunity to try and get an overtake done before turn 1 as it is there. So definitely we're waiting to see Mad Nathan go across the line here right now. Goes 134.4, and we'll see how well that holds up with everyone else coming across the line. We got Codfish coming across now, 136.8 for him. And let's see who's going to be the next car coming around. King Curb might be that next car, and he is going to be the next car going across the line as he gets around the final turn here right now. And let's see how fast he is about to go. And he goes second fastest, 135.4 so far. I think we might have Vans Racing the next car, 138.6. And the Racing Point of Butler goes 136.3 into P3 right now. So grid order is going to change quite a bit as we get cars getting around. I think Walker is getting started in his hot lap there right now. Where is Mr. Rage on track at the moment? He might be one of the cars. No, actually he's not. Trying to have a look. I think that was Maddie there going across the line. Goes third fastest now. Gremlin now goes second fastest, 135.2. 135.278 and a 135.298 from Maddie there. Literally about 200 of a second time difference between them. Sorry, 500 of a second time difference between them. So really quite interesting with the lap time so far. Where is Ethan on track here right now? I think he's on a hot lap going. This did a purple sector 1. Not sure if Walker's taking that one. No, Walker's already finished his sector 1. So let's see how Ethan gets around. I think Walker's going to be getting across the line first though. So let's have a look at the Red Bull getting around. And Mr. Rage goes 134.190, goes fastest in the session so far. So doing pretty well here in qualifying 1. As we can see the cars getting across the line. Let's have a look. Where is Ethan here at the moment? He's still coming behind Walker. So we're going to keep an eye on these two as they're going to be the next 2 cars to get across the line. We got Neil on an outlap there right now. And Codfish out of the session with his 136.8, didn't make it back to the pits, so that lap time is not going to hold, and he's probably going to be starting down at the back of the grid. We'll see how that works for him. Yes, he did make a lap time. Unfortunately, he didn't make it back to the pits, and I don't think that lap time holds if you don't make it back to the pit. We got Walker about to go across the line here right now, gets around the final turn, and we're going to see between him and Ethan who goes faster. So Walker goes third fastest, 134.839, and we got Ethan about to, oh, he's going back into the pits. He's not going to finish his lap as it is there right now. We got Neil on a hot lap here right now, getting through sector 2. And unfortunately, that's an invalidated lap there from Neil, so he's going to have to try that again. We do have a few more drivers currently on their out laps, so we're going to see how well they're going to come in and bring their time in there as well. Let's follow on with Vintage here. Let's see where he is on track. So he's going to be starting on his lap pretty soon. Where is Mikey on track? I think Mikey might be getting started on his lap a bit sooner as well. So let's going to keep on with him for just a bit to see how he's going to be going with that. But so far so good. We still got about 10.5 minutes left in qualifying 1 here, and I think drivers have been doing so pretty well so far, because our lap times range from a 134 to a 135 mostly, and then we got 136 and 138. I think they're going to try and improve their time as much as they can. We got Mikey getting started on his lap here right now. We're going to have a look on board with him as he gets around the circuit here. And so far so good, gets a purple sector 1. Sector 2 is a little bit longer, so, and sector 2 has much more straights. So I think sector 2, it does depend on your straight line speed, which is what is gonna actually help you get a purple sector 2 around this track. So got to be very fast with that. And this is the heavy braking zone which we were talking about here. They're coming up to here right now. Let's see how he gets around. He gets around pretty well on that line there actually. So Mikey seems to be doing pretty well so far. Let's see if he's able to carry on through and possibly get a purple sector 2 here right now. And that was a purple sector 2, so this lap is looking incredibly good so far. Looking as though he might get a good run and put Mr. Rage down to second place on the grid. We'll see how that works. Okay, so Mikey goes across the line, third fastest in the session so far, 124.7, not too bad of a time. And we got Nick there going across the line, 133.8, and he goes fastest in the session so far. So I think this is his first race actually with PGLs, but really not a bad start for his debut race here. So he's done pretty well so far, holding on to the fastest lap in Q1 as it is right now. So let's have a look down at the bottom of the grid. We got Ethan there getting a go on a hot lap here right now. So let's have a look on where he's going to put that Alfa Romeo on the grid when he does finish a lap. I think Neil, we do have on a hot lap as well. So I think most of our drivers have gotten their laps in. I think it's just about 4 drivers currently remaining to get a lap in here right now. Beefy's still in the pits at the moment. Scooby getting our hot lap started there right now as well. So we'll see how these 3 finish off their laps. We're still waiting for Beefy to get out and try to get a lap in here. If he's going to get one in, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure if there's any ban from the previous race for a quality ban or anything. But let's see how that goes for this session here right now. There goes Ethan, fastest in Q1 now, 133.780. Quite an incredible lap time from him as he gets that car up into P1 in this session. So just under 7 minutes, sorry, the remaining in the session right now. We'll see how the rest of the grid gets on through. We're on with Neil here right now. Where is he on track? Getting into Sector 3. Not a purple sector. Where is Scooby on track? And he's getting through Sector 2 at the moment. So let's keep an eye on that, see how it goes. King Crab goes up into P4 right now, 134.166. So he seems to be doing pretty well out there as well. Mr. H down to P5 right now. Mad Nathan down to 6. Walker down to 7. Trot Marcus down to 8. DT Bev's there 9th. And that is some issues there for Neil at the moment, getting into the barriers there, I think. So I think he might have some damage on that car. So definitely not the best lap as he has going through there right now. Then we got Gremlin there, 10th on the grid so far. Maddie 11, Butler 12, Vintage 13, Sniper 14. Of course, we only need about I think 14, top 14 or 15 drivers going over the qualifying 2. So let's see who's going to be those drivers being left out here right now. So far, I think Codfish definitely will be one of those drivers being left out. And that is Scooby into P14 at 138.5, which he does need to try and improve that time as much as he can. We got Beefy on an out lap here right now, so let's have a look on how he's going. DT Bev's here on a hot lap, I think, running through. So let's have a look at him at the moment. Okay, so let's see what's been happening. So I see Red Devil has joined the session. Not sure if he's going to be racing with us here this evening as well. That's going to make 20 on the grid. If he will be racing, let's see if he's going to be getting on. And Ethan is using manual gears and no TC. And I would say that's working pretty well for him if he got fastest lap in the session. So definitely seems like he got a lot of laps of practice done with using the manual gears as well. So seems to be doing pretty well with that. Can't put him off on that so far. So that's the end of laps for quite a few drivers. As you see them retiring off of the session. We still got a few drivers running in the session here right now. I think Beefy is still on his lap. Let's have a look at him right now. So he is still on a hot lap getting through Sector 3 here at the moment. Let's see how he finishes off this lap and if he's able to possibly keep himself going over into qualifying 2 at this point here right now. Well, so far looking good. Ethan's time of 133.780 is still holding up quite well as fastest lap of the session. So it seems to be doing pretty well using the manual gears and no TC for qualifying. We're going to see how he performs with that during the race session, which is going to be quite a lot different because he's going to have to hold that out for quite a number of laps and do that. That is Beefy now going 8th fastest in the session with a 134.878, just about 400th of a second slower than his teammate Walker there in 7th on the grid so far. We still have Red Devil has joined the session. I don't know if he's going to get out on track and try to get a lap time in, maybe make it over to qualifying 2. We'll have a look at that in a bit. And Neil here still on another out lap, trying to get a hot lap started. This takes about a minute and a half to get around here, so I think if Red Devils gets out right now, he might actually be able to get a lap in. going to keep on with Neil here at the moment. Let's have a look. Is Sniper on a lap here at the moment? Sniper seems to be on a lap here at the moment as well. He's currently down there in 17. Not a good point to be at this place in the session here with just about 2 minutes left. So he needs to get a faster time and get up into the top 10 at least to save himself getting over into qualifying 2. Let's see if he's able to do that at this point here right now. We got Red Devil on a hot lap already. Seems to have invalidated that. So we will have another chance of another lap here once he gets across the line in time to try and get that going. We still got Neil on a lap here as well. Let's get back to Sniper though. He's just on a purple sector too, so looking pretty good so far on the lap that he's currently running. Sorry about that, guys. Yes, he's looking pretty good so far on the lap that he's currently running. Let's see if he's able to finish a lap and get a faster time than a 138.6, which he currently holds on to there right now. So I think just about one more turn for Sniper to get around here, and he should get across the line. Let's see if he gets a faster time in. Then we're going to follow with Red Devil and see if he's going to get a faster time. It doesn't seem like he gets a faster time in. So he's going to go one more lap on that set of tires and try to get another lap in here. What I think he invalidated. I think he invalidated the lap just at the end. So unfortunate for that. He's not going to be able to get another lap in here right now. Neil here trying to finish this lap off right now. Let's have a look on board with him in the Renault and see how fast he's going to be going. Alright, so he goes across the line and goes 12th on the grid with a 125.3. Really not too bad of a time. I'm going to go back on the Red Devils here. He's trying to finish off this current lap that he's running here right now, get another hot lap started before the end of the session. He has about 30 seconds to do that. Let's see if he is going to be able to get across the line in time, because I'm not sure about that as yet. Following on with a few other drivers as they're finishing up laps here right now. Let's go on back down to, let's see, Vans Racing on a lap here right now. Vans Racing trying to get out of 19th position on the grid. Really trying to improve that time and put that car over into qualifying 2 if he can at this point here right now. Okay, so let's have a look at our qualifying 1 results here right now. So Ethan here holds on to fastest lap in the session, 123.780. Quite an interesting lap from him. Nick there, second fastest in the session, and Mad Nathan goes third fastest. We got Mikey taking 4th on the grid on that. King Curb takes 5th, DTBF takes 6th, Maddie 7th, Walker 8th, Beefy there in 9th, and Gremlin in 10th, Short Marcus 11th, Neil 12th, Butler 13th, Vintage 14th. That's our 14 drivers going over to qualifying 2, and the rest of the grid will be out of that. We're going to have a look at the full grid by the time we get into the formation lap, but for now let's head over to qualifying 2 and get our 15 minutes started on the clock for that one there, and let's see how well they perform there, and let's see if Ethan is going to get the fastest lap in that session as well, as he seems to be performing pretty well using no TCN and manual gears at the moment here. Let's get lap data on, and we're going to put that on best so we see what tires these guys are going to be coming out on track on, and let's see who's going to be the first driver getting out here right now. Okay, so let's see what's happening in our qualifying 2 session right now. Sorry about the silence on the mic there for a second. I was just checking something. Alright, so I think we're having quite a few cars on the track already getting started with their outlast. Beefy out quite early on this particular session here as well, so we'll see how the laps go. We'll probably follow him on for a hot lap around the Yas Marina circuit here and see how well the lap is going to go, and I'll get a pretty good look at the track on board with that Red Bull there of Beefy's cars. So let's see, we're about to have him go across the final turn onto the pit straight and the starting grid here, and let's have a look on how a lap around the Yas Marina circuit looks, and we can see the different lights around the track as well. Quite interesting how well the track lights up and how actually it looks getting into a night session here. Okay, so we have our first lap time in with Beefy at 137.8. Mad Nathan goes 134.5 right now, and he does that on the mediums as well. So quite interesting to see the change there right now. Where is Ethan on track? Gets across the line, goes second fastest, 137.3 right now. Not too bad of a time. Let's have a look who's going to be next to come around. I think that is Butler they're getting around for the next lap time in. And that's going to be second fastest now, 135.4, pushes Ethan and Beefy down the order just a bit there. Let's have a look who is next to get around here. And I think that's going to be Marcus there, getting around Amy McLaren. So let's see how fast he does go when he gets across the line in one more turn to go around here. And that is now second fastest for him now, 125.2, 2 tenths faster than Butler, pushes him down the order. Just I think where is DTBF is about to get across the line pretty soon as well. And let's see where he's going to go on the grid, if he's going to go back into the pits. I think he's going back into the pits, so he's not going to finish his current lap. We got Neil on a lap here right now, getting started not too long ago. So let's see, getting through sector 1, purple sector 1 for Neil so far. So the Renault driver seems to be on a pretty good lap getting through. Let's see if he's able to transition that through sectors 2 and 3 air as well. Okay, so that is Neil now going second fastest in the session at 125.1. Not too bad of a time. Let's see how the rest of the grid gets on through. We have a few more drivers coming. I think Gremlin about to get a lap in there as well. Purple sector 1 for him. So let's have a look. Oh, and he invalidates that lap, so he's going to have to try that once again. King Curb getting started on a hot lap here right now. So let's have a look with him in his Renault. His team is currently second fastest in this session, so not doing too bad. 8 minutes left in qualifying 2. So let's see how they get on through. And we're having a look at the tires that it's using right now. Majority of the cars seem to be trying this out on the soft tires so far. Only 2 drivers have done laps on the medium tires and have done pretty well on them, with Mad Nathan there and Marcus up there P1 and P3 respectively so far. So they've done pretty well on those tires as they have it. Interesting enough, that is King Curb now going fastest in the session so far, 134.4. Bad Nathan is now down to second on the grid. As we have it here, he's about a 10 slower with his lap time currently. Neil in third. So Renault seems to be doing pretty well here in qualifying 2, I gotta say. So far, at least from what we can see. But they're running on different strategies though, with Neil running on the softs and King Curb running on the mediums as it is right now. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid and see where they're going to be as they get on through here right now. Currently on with Vintage. Let's have a look at Walker here right now. I know he's transitioned to wheel pretty recently, and he's done pretty well. 135.1 as he goes up third on the grid at the moment there. Let's have a look who else currently is running here. Nick here in P10 at the moment. Let's see if he's able to get a lap in without invalidating and possibly get a good qualifying time in here right now. But looking pretty good on the grid so far. So 134s going down to mostly 135 to 137s as we have it. And I see we do have Gremlin and Mikey on outlaps there once again. So definitely they're trying to get some times in before the end of this session. We only have 14 drivers in this qualifying 2 session, guys. So only the top 10 will be making it over to qualifying 3. And of course, the top 10 that make it over to qualifying 3 will have to start the race on the tires that they did their fastest laps on in this session currently that we're on right now. So they do have to be a bit careful about race strategy right now and be careful about what tires they're going to be using. And see how that's going to work as well. Hello Brad, thank you for joining on the stream there. Glad to have you on, my friend. Alright, so Nick goes 9 fastest only in the session so far, 125.5. Let's have a look at Mikey here right now in the Mercedes getting around and see how his current lap is going. He seems to be going pretty well. Let's see, he's going to get to the end of Sector 1 here right now. Not a purple Sector 1, unfortunately for him. But let's see how Sector 2 goes. Of course, I said Sector 2 is mostly about the straights here right now and the straight line speeds of the car, depending on what setups they're running. Of course, a very heavy braking zone at the end of this straight here that we're coming up to here right now. So they do have to be very careful not to overshoot that turn. There is a slight bit of runoff area in the blue there on the right hand side, if you can see, but of course not enough. Sometimes you can still end up into the wall and into the barriers and probably damage your car, depending on how much you do miss that braking zone sometimes, especially when cars are trying to pull an overtake off during the race and getting to that part of the track. So let's see how lap times are going to go by the time we close off this session. We got just about 3.5 minutes left right now in qualifying 2. And it seems to be going pretty well. We got some guys on the medium tires and are doing much faster laps than guys running on the softs here at the moment. So interesting enough to see that King Curb has retired after the session. He is going to stick with that 124.4 that he did on the mediums, as he does want to start the race on the medium tires, as it seems. We got Manhattan still holding on to 2nd, Beefy up to 3rd, Nick goes up to 4th, Walker down to 5th, and Neil into 6th, Marcus 7th, Maddie into 8th, Vintage 9th, and someone just went up another position. That is Mikey there, going up to P3 on the grid there right now, pushes the entire grid down. And let's have a look down at the bottom with DT Bevs and Gremlin here right now. I think Gremlin is about to get across the line here at the moment. Let's have a look at where the Racing Point driver is going to go. His teammate Butler is only in 11th on the grid right now and will be knocked out of qualifying 3 if he keeps that time. And Gremlin goes into 9th. Not the most safe position to be in here right now as well. 135.2 for that so far. Let's have a look down at the bottom of the grid. DT Bevs is the only driver yet to set a lap time in this session. Alright, so he goes across the line here right now. Goes 3rd fastest actually, 124.6. Not a bad lap from him there. I think we got Ethan down to 14 currently on the grid. He's getting started on another hot lap here right now. Let's see if those manual gears, no TC settings, are going to give him a faster lap than a 137.3 in this session. Did go fastest in qualifying 1. And let's see if he can do a repeat on qualifying 2 here right now to get over to the next session. He's running on the soft tires here right now. And just did a purple sector 1, so he is on currently for a pretty good lap. But let's see if he's going to transition this over to a purple sector 2 here as well. That would give us a better guarantee that he's on for a pretty good lap. But so far so good as he's running the lap. Let's see how he gets on through. Taking a pretty good line, getting around, catching those cars pretty well. Alright, so he's going to get around this straight here right now and then get across the line for sector 3. And let's see if he's getting a purple sector or not. And does get a purple sector too. So Ethan's on for a pretty good lap here right now. He might actually be able to pull off a top 3 lap time here. Let's see if he's going to get that in. Or might even get the fastest lap in the session. Who knows? We'll see how that's going to work for him. But definitely looking forward to see what this race start is going to look like and what our at least our top 5 drivers on the grid are going to be by the time we get off to that point. So let's stay on board with him. We got about 30 seconds left in this session here right now for drivers currently running their laps there. or 2. He's about to get across the line here right now. Let's see how fast he's going to go with that. And goes fastest in the session at 134.089. Those manual gears and no TC settings definitely working some miracles for him, because that's about 4/10 faster than what King Corp did on his lap that he held on with a 134.4. So quite an impressive lap from Ethan there. Puts that car in P1 for the session. That is the end of qualifying 2 there, guys, and we have just a few cars probably still running on track. Purple sector 2 so far for Maddie here. Let's see if he's able to get maybe into the top 3 with a lap time. I'm not sure if he had a purple sector 1, probably did in that Ferrari there. Let's see how well this transitions over though, because there's a few more turns to get around here in sector 3, and we're gonna see where he goes on the grid. So I think it's just Walker and probably Ethan running a lap here right now. So Walker coming behind. Let's see if he's able to get a faster lap than 35.1. Should be able to make it over into qualifying 2. That's why qualifying 3 is we have it there, and goes down to 10. So quite a close call for him to get over there right now. Let's have a look on that, and he is out of the session, so he tires off. So that's a pretty good run there that Maddie had. Went up to P6, 134.6 so far in that session, and looks like he did that on the medium tires here as well. So very interesting lap times. So we have quite a mix of strategies that we're going to see. Some of these guys are going to be running on the soft, some are going to be running on the mediums for the start of the race. We'll see how it happens when we get to that point. And who is currently running on track? I think it's just Ethan running on track right now. I'm waiting for him to just retire off of the session so we can get over to qualifying 3. Just have a look at the results here so far. As I'm waiting for that to happen. So guys, just welcome to everyone who has joined onto the stream, who are still on with us. If you're just joining us on, we're on with PGL F1 Sunday Division for round 10 of 23 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Going to be quite an interesting session for here at the Asmarina Circuit. We're into qualifying 2 at the end of qualifying 2 so far. We're going to head straight over to qualifying 3 here right now, and then to the race session. So fastest in qualifying 2 was Ethan there. We got King Curb going second fastest. Marcus went third fastest. Mad 18 there 4th. DT Bevs in 5th. Maddie there 6th, Mikey 7, Beefy 8, Nick there 9th, and Walker there in 10th. That's our top 10 going over to qualifying 3 as we have it. Neil is going to start 11th, Gremlin starts 12th, Vintage is going to start 13th, Butler is going to start 14th. So let's head on straight over to qualifying 3 here right now. We're going to have 12 minutes in that session to see how these guys stack up and how our top 10 are going to be set on the starting grid for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And going to be quite interesting to see how that race start is going to go as well. So getting started with that session here right now, and let's see who's going to be first to get out on track. We know everyone's going to be running on the soft tires in this session, so we're not going to put tires on. I don't think we have that on there, so that's going to be off. Once again, guys, please do not forget to leave a like on the stream for us to help us support us, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new here as well. Alright, so we got some cars heading out on track already. Both Red Bulls getting out pretty early on track to get their laps started here. So let's see how that's going to look. Quite an interesting pit lane exit as we have getting through this tunnel part here and then getting out on track there. Got to be very careful at driving around there as well to avoid damage when exiting the pit lane, especially during a race when you're in a bit of a hurry to get out back on track. Also, especially so when you're driving manually out of the pits. Good job on that, Neil. That is not too bad at all. Let's see how qualifying 3 is about to go here. We got quite a few cars out on track right now and getting started on their hot laps. So hot laps pretty soon. They're still on their hot laps going through. And yeah, we should have some cars getting around the track there right now. Is King Curb going to be the first one to set a time in? Let's have a look here right now. And definitely seems like he is going to be the first guy to set a time in. I think he had the second fastest lap down there in Q2. So let's see how it's going to go here for Q3 for him here right now. Hopefully goes pretty well and he's able to get good time in as well. So once again, guys, thank you guys for joining on the stream. Please make sure you guys leave a like on the video. I don't get tired of saying it. No, I do not get tired of saying that, because I do like it when you guys leave a like on the video. The more likes, the better for us in terms of YouTube recommending the videos to other people that do watch these sort of videos as well, as terms of recommended videos. So it does help in terms of that, which is why I do ask that everyone leave a like on the stream. For us, does help us out a lot when you guys do that. So thanks a lot for that. Thanks for joining on the session. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the qualifying session so far, and we're definitely looking forward to the race start. So we're going to get to that in just a bit. We got about 9 minutes left here in qualifying 3 already. We got a few cars started on their hot laps already, and we're going to see what sort of lap times we're about to see come in very, very shortly here. Okay, so let's have a look at the lap times that we have in here so far. 6.5 minutes left in qualifying 3, and our fastest lap so far is with Nick here, 133.8. Walker second fastest in the session, 134.056. Beefy third fastest. That's both Red Bull second and third so far, 134.206. And now Mikey goes up into P3, pushes Beefy down a position. He has a 134.1. King Curb there, fifth fastest, 134.2. Short Marcus, 134.6. Eaton there, 134.8. We got DT Bevs, Mad Nathan, and Maddie out. Well, they have to still get their lap times in. We got Mad Nathan on an out lap right now, I think. He should be getting started with his hot lap pretty shortly. Of course, I think we have a few drivers with invalidated laps as well. So let's see what's going to happen as we get started here right now with this hot lap from Mad Nathan here. And of course, we do have DT Bevs and Maddie still have to get lap times in for the session there. And let's see, definitely we're going to have a few more drivers who are currently in pits get out back on track and try to get a faster time in there as well. And Nathan seems to be running a pretty good lap so far as he's gotten started. Let's have a look if he's having any purple sectors as he gets on through. And that is a purple sector 1 for him, so he's doing a pretty good lap so far in the Haas. Okay, just apologies about that. So just checking some settings here. Alright, I think we're good for the time being. Alright, so let's have a look what's happening in the end of our qualifying 3 sessions. So Mad Nathan here at 133.8 goes fastest in the session so far with that. DTBFs and Maddie still no lap times out of the 2 of them. Ethan there on another out lap right now. King Curb there as well. And let's have a look, where is King Curb? He's getting started in his lap here right now. I think Ethan is about to get started in his lap very soon. A few more turns for him to get around the track. So let's see how his lap is about to go when he does get started here. Got some yellow flags around the track there. I think that's what Mikey just probably trying to get back into the pits. Alright, so we got Ethan about to get across the line to get started on his probably his final hot lap here right now. So let's have a look on board with the Alfa Romeo driver as he gets around and see how well it's actually going. It seems to be going pretty well, especially with the manual gears as he's getting through here right now. Also, he's doing pretty well on those manual gears. I gotta get used to learning that myself, but let's see how he finishes off this lap. I really wasn't paying attention to the map to see if that was a purple sector 1 or not, but we're gonna still keep on board with him as we get on through and see what's gonna happen down at the end of this lap. This might be his final attempt at this, or he might be able to go one more lap on that same set of tires, provided he has enough fuel in that car to do another lap. So let's see how that's gonna run for him. Because sometimes these guys do tend to just put enough fuel to just do one hot lap around the track just to make the car as light as possible, and that's a purple sector 2 for Ethan here so far. So he's doing pretty well in sector 2. I'm not sure how his sector 1 time was, but let's see how he finishes off the final sector and might be able to get a few positions up for a better start for this race here. Abu Dhabi is quite an interesting track, so definitely looking forward to see what this race is going to be like. As I said, it's been quite a bit of time right now since we've actually done a full F1 race here at this track, so going to be interesting to see how that works out. We did have a bit of a classic race on Saturday. I was yesterday on here, and that is fastest lap in the session actually. Quite impressed with that. That's 133.793. It goes a 10th faster than Mad Nathan there, who's currently into second on the grid with that. Nick here running a lap right now. Let's see if he's going to be able to finish this off and possibly get that car ahead of Ethan and Mad Nathan there with his lap that he's currently running. We also have Walker doing a lap here right now. Let's see how fast he's going to go when he does get around to that. I know Walker is still adjusting to that wheel there at the moment. So let's see. He's doing pretty well though in this session, as we can see here right now. Getting up to the qualifying 3. Putting that car so far in P4 for the start of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Let's see how he gets around with the end though, because I think he's running just in front of Nick there actually. So let's have a look on board with him as he gets around here and see if he's able to probably get a faster time in. Maybe get a few tenths up and might be able to get into either into second or third, or maybe even into P1 for the start of this race. But currently it is Ethan who holds on to a provisional pole start here at the Yas Marina circuit. So trying to have a look right now between Walker and Nick to see who's going to be getting Oh, and King Curve now goes fastest at 133.666, goes a tenth faster than Ethan there. So he now takes away provisional pole away from the Alfa Romeo. And that's second place down for Ethan there right now. Mad Nathan down to P3, where he might be starting, depending if Nick or Walker gets a faster timing. But quite a few drivers doing laps down in the back here. And Walker is not going to finish his lap. Nick invalidates his current lap, so he's not going to be able to finish that one there. Mikey on a lap coming around as well. Let's see who else is closer to the edge of this one here. And it's going to be Marcus, the next car to go across the line. And let's see if he's going to get a faster time in. Maddie there having some trouble getting that lap going. DTBS might be on a lap already. And let's see if he's going to be able to finish and get a good time. 134.6 for Marcus, and he goes across the line, finishes 134.449, doesn't improve his time. And we're following on with Beefy here right now. Mikey coming behind him, but I think DT Bears might be just in front of that. Yes, he is. Let's have a look at what sort of lap time he is about to get. One more turn to get it wrong. Let's hope it doesn't invalidate it, and he does get it wrong pretty well. Gets back onto the pit straight, and let's see how fast he's going to go. Goes second fastest in the session with a 133.6. Beefy goes up to third fastest right now, 133.7. Quite a bit of change happening down at the end of this qualifying session. Mikey here, the final car to get across the line here right now. And I think King Corb might be on another lap. Is he on another lap? Let's have a look here right now. No, he's not on another lap going through. So we're going to go back on with Mikey here as he's about to get around the final turn and get across the line. Let's see where he puts that Mercedes on the grid. If it's a 124.070 so far, goes up one position, 133.883, puts him on to 7 for the start of this race. So quite interesting with the finishing portion of the qualifying training session there, as we have quite a bit of change down at the end of the session. So I think that's going to be it for our starting grid there and how it looks there right now. So we're going to have a look at the final results still at the end of the session once it's all over there. I think we're just waiting for King Curb to just retire off of this session, and then that's going to be it. We'll be able to get over to our formation lap and the race session and see what our race start is going to look like on the opening lap, and see if we're going to have a safety car VSC, or we have everyone get away cleanly, or maybe just a few minor contacts on that opening lap, how it's going to go. Not 100% sure as yet, but let's see how that's going to go. But either way, good job on all the drivers through the entire qualifying session. I think some very competitive and very interesting lap times. Very competitive out here with the 133s going down to P7 with Mikey there as well. So going to be very competitive out for the start of the race, and good luck to all the drivers getting through with this race session. Let's hopefully hope that we do have a clean start on that race as well. So the top 10 as we have them here, King Kirby is going to start P1 on the podium for this race. DTBF starts second there just alongside King Kirby. We have Beefy starting on the second row in third place on the grid. We got Ethan starting alongside him in fourth. Mad Nathan starts fifth. Nick starts sixth. Mikey starts seventh. Walker starts eighth. Maddie starts ninth. Short Marcus is going to start 10th on the grid there. So quite an interesting grid that we have for the start, and let's see how that gets along. We're going to have a look at our entire starting grid due to the formation lap coming up right about now, guys. Okay, so we're getting started on our formation lap here right now. As we can see, it's going to be a 28 lap race around the Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Getting started very shortly. So let's have a look at the entire starting grid as it is, and tires which they're going to be starting the race on as well. So let's have a look at that. So as we can see there right now, we got King Corp starting P1 on the grid. DTBF starts second. BP starts third. Ethan starts fourth. Mad Nathan starts fifth. Nick starts sixth. Mikey starts seventh. Walker starts eighth. Maddie starts ninth. We got Short Marcus starting 10th. And then we got Neil starting 11th. Gremlin's going to start 12th. Vintage starts 13. Butler starts 14. Mr. Raid starts 15. Codfish will start 16. Scooby there 17. Vans Racing will start 18th, and Snipers 19, and then Red Devil starts 20th down the bottom of the grid there. Looking at tires as it is there right now, we got King Kirby is going to start on the mediums, DTF starts on the soft, Beefy starts on the mediums, and Ethan starts on the soft. And then Short Marcus finishes off the top 10 starting on the soft as well. The rest of the grid starting on the mediums there. Except for Sniper Dong in 19th, he's going to be starting on the softs as well. So looking to get quite a few positions up on the race start, which he is there right now. We'll see how well the race start is about to go between King Curbs and DT Bevs here. I know Beefy and Ethan are going to be pushing on through just behind of them as well. But we'll see how that goes through turns 1, 2, and 3. But we're going to keep an eye on King Curb and DT Bevs on the race start to see who gets a better launch of that start there. And we'll see how that is going to continue on with the first opening lap for them. If we're going to have a safety car VSC, I'm not sure as yet, but we'll see how it goes. Because I think with the gap that we had in qualifying 3 there, it was pretty close between our top 7 drivers, at least all in the 133s. So definitely looking forward to a very competitive race here, especially the entire grid. Actually, they were all pretty good during the qualifying session. So I think we're going to have a lot of battles to follow on through with this race. As we have our cars starting to get back onto our starting grid here right now, we can have a look at DTBF starting to get into his position. And we're going to keep on to him. And as you can see, King Curbs is going to have the outside line getting around turn 1. So he'll be more on the side of the racing line as they get around turn 1 there. And DTBs might try to push on the inside through before turn 1 to try and get that overtake done before they get through that point. And it depends on how good of a run if we getting down there. But as you can see, it's a very short run getting down to that turn. So let's see how this is about to go here right now. We're on board with DTBs and waiting for those lights to start to go. We might have that leaderboard get mixed up a bit, so let's just ignore that for now. 20 laps about to get started here, and we're going to put on position changes so you guys can have a look at that as we get on through with the race. And let's have a look here right now. That is 5 lights, and we're a go, and let's see who gets a better start. Seems to be quite even, but DTBS has a pretty good run alongside King Corp into turn 1. We got Beefy getting very close up behind them there as well. Let's have a look at the grid as they're getting through. The Mercedes and Mikey and Ethan are getting quite close off together. That's kind of gone away just a little bit there as well, as Mikey getting very close though to Nick, trying to get alongside him and get up that position up into 5th, and he does get the overtake done. So that's gonna put and a bit of contact between Mikey and Nick there. Ethan trying to get around Nick right now, puts himself on the inside, gets up. Looks like he's going to get a side-by-side run with Mikey now. I know he's still side-by-side with Nick, actually trying to get up into 6th place. He does have 6 on the leaderboard as it says there right now. Let's see if he's able to keep the position as he gets on through. Does actually keep it. Then the racing point of Gremlin is trying to come alongside Nick, gets alongside of him on the inside of that turn, gets up into 7th place. So Mikey gets up in the 5th, Ethan gets up in the 6th, Gremlin gets up in the 7th on that race start so far. So quite an interesting change, and Gremlin has got now 5 positions from the race start at this point as it is there right now. So he's gaining quite a bit. And then we got down in the back Nick and Maddie now fighting it off. Nick holding off the Ferrari of Maddie down into 9th. He keeps his 8th position so far. He's lost 2 positions in this race from the race start up to this point, and he's trying not to lose any more positions at this point here right now. Going back up to Ethan here, chasing after Mikey for 5th position in the race at the moment. We're still on the opening lap and going, and everyone seems to have gotten away pretty well so far, except for Neil down in the back there. Lost 9 position from the start of this race, so definitely not having the best of races down in the back. We're on board right now with Ethan to see how close he's actually getting to Mikey here. Has a pretty good run and might actually be able to get this overtake done pretty soon, but he does need to keep that gap as close as he has to there right now. We're going to switch on over to tires and see what's happening with that at this point here right now. So Ethan is on those soft tires, working pretty well for him as he's trying to get up another position here at the moment. Let's see if that's going to work. Down at the back, we got Nick into the pits there right now. So probably has some damage on that car as he had some contact with the Mercedes of Mikey. Neil into the pits there, so probably took some damage or contact with someone else's car. I'm not sure what happened there, but we'll see how that works out for them. But so far so good. We got all 20 drivers into this race still as we're continuing on with the race here right now. I'm gonna go out front just a bit here right now between King Kerm, DT Bevs, and Beefy, and Mad Nathan as well. All top 4 drivers running within a half of a second, which within each other here right now, and they're still chasing each other through. So King Kerm is trying to get away with a gap here, trying to build a lead between himself and DT Bevs if he can. Let's see if that's gonna work for him or not. Going back down to Ethan and Gremlin here. The Racing Point is trying to get around Ethan if he can, and let's see if he's able to get that done. Looks like Ethan is about to lose that position if he's not careful, but he's still holding it on as much as he can here right now. I'm not sure if there's any contact between the two cars so far as they continue going on through. We're going to go on board a bit with Gremlin and see how he's getting through it. Doesn't seem to be any contact, but still Ethan holds on to 6th place, and he's going to have to try and continue defend as much as he can against Gremlin in the Racing Point here. So far out front, I see King Kerb is starting to gain a bit of time off of DT Bevs. Has gained about 4 tenths so far, so he's getting ahead, and I'm going to continue on with the lead. He has the fastest lap in the race so far as well, so not doing too bad out front. Let's have a look. So we still got a bit of a train of cars between most of the grid as we have it here right now. Gaps are pretty close. Oh, and we got a Haas into the wall down in the back there. I'm not sure if that's Vans Racing or not. I don't think it's there. That's Mad Nathan actually. I'm not sure if he had contact with someone, but yeah, yellow flags in sector 1 there right now for that incident. So unfortunate though that Mad Nathan got into the wall. I'm not sure if he lost it on the rear or just had contact with another car. Either way, he's going to lose quite a few positions because of that there right now. We're on with Ethan here right now, chasing after the Mercedes of Mikey, really having a good run in that slipstream, and I might get able to get past. And that system was actually quite powerful. Gets around on the outside right now and is trying to get that overtake done. Mikey fights it back on the inside. Let's see if he's going to be able to hold it as they get on through. And looks like they're still going side by side just a little bit here right now. Let's get telemetry online. We do have DRS available for Ethan here. He's using it as much as he can. And we do have Gremlin getting alongside into this battle as well, pushing on through. Let's see if he's gotten that position up. He's still trying to get side by side with Ethan here to try and get into 5th place in this race. I'm going to get back on the overhead cam here right now. So quite a bit of battle going on. As you can see, a train of cars coming down behind of them, so they have to be very careful not to make any sort of mistake right now. That's going to cost them quite a few positions with the amount of cars running close behind here. Right, that's it. It's going to be quite a competitive race with the lap times that we had during qualifying, which was actually pretty close up between most of these guys as we had it. And quite an interesting race we got going on here so far. King Kerb getting the next fastest lap once again out front, and gap is just under a second by about 500 of a second at least with DT Bevs there, and he's trying to keep within the DRS range of King Kerb's car as much as he can. Mikey under a lot of pressure here right now. The car in front of him is about 4.9 seconds away. That is Beefy there, and he has a train of cars coming behind. Ethan getting about 0.2 of a second behind of him, and really looking to get that overtake done with, but really not getting a good gap as yet. But he's really in a bit of a hurry to get it done with, because he does have Gremlin who keeps trying to get alongside him to try to get an overtake done, and he's going to have DRS advantage. Of course, Gremlin should be having that DRS advantage as well as all of the other cars behind. He's going to have another good run on the slipstream using the DRS advantage. Gets on the outside once again to get around Mikey. Let's see if it works on this occasion. He is a bit further ahead on this occasion. Has to take the inside on the next turn, and a bit of minor contact between the two, and looks like Ethan might get the position up, but the Racing Point of Gremlin is coming behind of Ethan, trying to get a position up on Mikey here as well. He's trying to get between the two cars, and and that is a massive incident there right now. Both Mikey and Ethan are out of the race. I'm not sure if Gremlin was involved in any contact between the two cars that caused both of them to go off, or if it was just between Ethan and Mikey there, but quite a severe incident. Both cars into the barriers at the same time. It did look like something happened with contact, maybe with Gremlin behind the two of them. He was trying to get through the two cars. I'm not sure if that's what happened there at the moment. Did seem like that's what happened, but I'm not sure. I really can't comment too much on it, but from what we saw, it might just be an incident involving all three cars that caused that safety car to happen there. That's Mad Nathan with a drive-through penalty under the safety car there right now. He's speeding under the safety car, and that was quite a massive incident, honestly. Very unfortunate for Ethan and Mikey to be out of that session there. Unfortunately, Brad, we don't have a replay option on this game. You know that would be actually a really good recommendation for for them to put in on the F1 2021 game coming out in June or July, whenever it is coming out. It would be nice to have a replay option on the spectator mode just to do that, because especially if you do have a safety car, do have a replay option getting to that there. That'll be actually nice to have. But yeah, but we're not gonna be able to do that back as yet. But I'm not sure. Just a comments I can make on it. It did see I did see we did have that car of where is he? He's down to 13th right now. I think he took a pit stop there under the safety car. Yeah, we did have Gremlin trying to squeeze through Mikey and Ethan there, so I'm not sure if he had any contact with the two cars and probably caused both of them to go side by side into the barriers there, or if the two cars got stuck together or had contact with each other that caused them to go into the wall. I'm not sure, but that incident definitely will be investigated at the end of the race. That's going to be on an investigation definitely between all three of them. I'm not sure who's at fault entirely with that one, but they're gonna need race footage from all three drivers to see what exactly happened there with that incident. But that was quite a massive crash. Unfortunate for those two drivers, and they had quite a good battle going on from the start of the race to that point, and it's unfortunate to see them out, but we're still under the safety car going here right now. King Crab still leads the race, Beefy in second, Maddie now up into third place in this race, and then we have Mr. Rage there down in fourth, and then we got Walker there in fifth, Butler running sixth, now Coffee seven. We got Vintage in 8th, DT Bebs in 9th, Scooby now in 10th, Sniper in 11th, and then Red Devil is currently in 12th. He started 20th on the grid and he's running 12 right now. And then we got Kremlin there 13, Nick there 14, Marcus 15, Vans Racing 16, 17th on the grid is Neil right now. Three drivers out of the session so far. That's Mad Nathan, Mikey, and Ethan there. And Mikey and Ethan are going to be quite furious at that incident there right now. I'm quite sure of that. Definitely going to be investigation after the race for that one. Race footage will be needed, so we'll see how that one works out. If anything, I'll probably post something about it in my Discord if possible and allowed about that, on what's decided about that incident there, because definitely really I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so guys, we're still under the safety car and going through here right now on lap 6 at the moment as we're getting through. Alright guys, so let's have a look at our standings so far. So we're still under the safety car and going through. So far for the Sunday division, for the Constructors Championship that we have it so far, we have Red Bull leading still right now with 201 points. We have Alfa Romeo currently second with 139 points, and that's going to be a lot of points lost, and now Ethan is out of that there. And then Mercedes currently third with 116 points, another set of points lost since Mikey is out of the race here right now. And then currently Ferrari fourth with 79 points. Renault currently running fifth with 57 points. Then Williams there sixth right now with 51 points. That's a close gap between the two of them. Then AlphaTauri seventh, 19 points. Racing Point in eighth with 8 points only. McLaren there ninth with 4 points. And Haas are yet to score any points. And with Nathan out of the race, unfortunate that only one Haas driver is left in this session right now, and that is currently Vans Racing there. And I think we're about to get back racing here right now because the safety car looks like it's about to go in. So let's keep an eye on King Curb and Beefy as we're about to get started back with this race here right now. Guys, so they get across the line. Are we still on the safety? No, we're not on the safety because we're back racing here right now. Into lap 7 we go here right now. So let's have a look on the overhead cam, see how drivers are getting through the rolling restart lap after that safety car there. And Gremlin has retired from the race. He's retired into the pits there right now. Not entirely sure why, but he has retired into the pits. Alright, so far so good on that safety car restart that we just had there. Everyone's still running quite close behind each other, but still, I don't see any major incidents forming after that restart. We got DTBF having a pretty good run on Codfish here, going to take it on the inside, and let's see if he gets a position up on the Ferrari. And Williams does need the points right now in terms of getting ahead in the championship for the constructors, so let's see how that's going to work for them. So DTBS gets up into 7th place, puts Ferrari driver down into 8th there at the moment. Out in front, we got a close gap between Beefy and King Kerr for the lead of the race. Let's have a look at that and see how that's going here right now. A pretty close gap between the two of them. And King Kerr needs to be a bit worried here right now if that car is that close to him. Mr. Rage and Maddie here are pretty close gap between them as well. So a Ferrari and a Ferrari, we're fighting it on this occasion here. Let's see how this is going to play out. And we got a Red Bull coming behind of them. That is Walker trying to get ahead of them there as well. And looks like Mr. Rage might have a pretty good run on Maddie by the time they get around to a straight portion of the track here, because he's keeping that gap extremely close here right now, using his overtake as much as he can, going into turn 1, into lap 8 we are right now. Let's see how that's going to work out for him, but still holding on to that position. Very close gap. Beefy watching on from behind, and DTBF is catching up to him about half of a second behind, so let's see how that's working out. And Mr. Rage definitely starting to look for a gap to get around that Ferrari there right now. With his teammate out, he is definitely going to be looking to make as much points as he can in this race here. And down this straight he go. Let's see how powerful that slipstream is going to be for Mr. Rage. And he's using it as much as he can. Gets alongside the Ferrari already, using his overtake. And he's going to get up into P3 in this race. That's a podium position for him so far, if he's able to finish there. We're only on lap 8 of 28 here right now and still going through, but still an interesting position that he's gotten up to. So let's see how the rest of the race is going to continue on through. DTBFs, they're running on very fresh, soft tires as he has it. So let's see how he gets on through with the race. Following on with the DTBS here right now. Let's see if he's able to get by Maddie here right now. He pushes alongside him, going down into turn 1 into lap 9 right now. Looks like he's going to get that position up. I don't think the Ferrari is going to be able to fight it back here and has to hold back into 5th position in the race here right now. Out in front, King Curb getting a second ahead of Beefy, keeping him out of the DRS zone here right now. So definitely wants to keep him out of that range. Doesn't want him to have that advantage to try to catch up. So Renault doing pretty well in the race. Not too bad for a finish there. His teammate unfortunately down to 14th on the grid. Not where he needs him to be, but let's see how the race does come to, and things do change as we get further on into the race. Down there in 11th with Nick right now chasing after Scooby. So this is the one remaining Mercedes driver in the race, and looks like he's going to use his DRS advantage, gets alongside Scooby, and is going to get up into 10th place in this race here right now. That is Nick getting up that position. Goes up into 10th, puts the Mercedes of Scooby down to 11th. And he's going to keep that position there right now. Going back to DTBF, chasing after Mr. Rage here. Really trying to get that position away from him. Get back onto a podium position if he can. And let's see if he's able to get this done. So far, not able to push it through as yet. Mr. Rage definitely wants to hold on to that podium position as much as he can here right now. Doesn't want to give it up. We still got quite a way more to go into this race, so still a lot of time for them to do this. Beefy desperately trying out front to get back into the DRS range right now of King Crab here, and having a very difficult time doing that, and he's gotten back into it here right now. So let's see if what sort of advantage is going to come off of it. Walker getting a 3-second penalty, running down there in P6 right now. Red Bull running pretty well in this race, both of them pretty high up in terms of getting points. Of course, Walker does have that penalty. Let's see if Beefy is able to get onto the lead of the race here right now, because he's getting a pretty good go. About 6/10 between him and King Curb at the moment. And hopefully that's not going to start to go away from him. He's about to get around to that very long straight down the back here, where he could get a pretty good tow in the slipstream. Let's see if he's going to get that happen. And he's going to have some DRS advantage, using all the overtake he has already. gap is about 6/10 between them, or 6/10 of a second, and he's using whatever advantage he does have, but he doesn't seem to be having a good run getting down the straight there. So the Red Bull maybe not as fast as the Renault, because the Renault was not even using any of his ERA, but running in pretty clean air, which might be a bit of an advantage for him. But our gap is actually close. DTBF is about to get past Mr. Rage here as well, as he goes on the inside, and looks like he's going to get that position up, and he does get it up, but it's actually still going side by side. But Mr. Rage is now down into P4. Walker gets a position up on Maddie, up into P5 he goes. Let's have a look what's happening along in the back there. So yep, Walker does get that position up, and looks like he's going to keep that for now. And Nick here gets up behind his teammate, up into 9th place in this race, ahead of Codfish there. So quite a few battles going on through the course of the track in the race as we have it here. Going back out front to Mr. Rage here right now. Let's see if he's able to get his position back. Out in front with Beefy, he's lost the 1 second gap that he had. He was within a second of King Curb. Now has lost that. He's now 1.5 seconds behind. Might have made maybe a bit of a mistake, but somehow lost a few tenths and has gotten out of the DRS range now, so not going to have that advantage. And Walker is out of the race. Is he retired into the pits? Let's have to have a look here. Nope, his car is stuck on the pit straight. That's a safety car there right now. So definitely looks like he had some contact with someone, or either that or he lost the rear and ended up into the barriers here. I'm not sure. But does look like he might have had contact with someone's car, fighting for a position there. So definitely might be a second incident to be investigated at the end of the race here to see what happened to him. So we're going to be under a safety car for just a bit more here right now. This might trigger a few more pit stops, as we're currently on lap 11 of 28 right now in this race. So definitely this is going to be triggering a few pit stops in the race, and we'll see how the grid is going to be changing. A few cars on the back already into the pits here as he got across into the pit entry there. And in the meanwhile that we're going through that safety car queue here, we're going to have a look at the driver standings right now for the current season championship that we have going on. So for driver standings for Sunday division, we currently have Walker leading that championship with 137 points, and he's unfortunately out of this race. That's no points for him, at least here, but he still will continue with the lead as it is there, because Mikey is in second with the driver standings of 104 points, and he's out of this race unfortunately as well. And interestingly enough, Ethan third in the driver standings with 70 points, and he's out of this race as well. So that's going to be unfortunate. Mr. Rage, the next driver, who is currently fourth now in the driver standings with 69 points, he's going to be able to get ahead. All he needs to do is score at least 2 points in this race, because currently he has 69 points. That's 1 point less than what Ethan has there. So he might be able to take over third position on the standings here after this race, as he's currently running in fifth in the race. Well, he's taking a pit stop right now. We'll see where he is at the end. Then I think it's Maddie there in P5 on the grid for the driver standings. He currently has 64 points and still running in this race. I think he is. Yes, he is. So might be able to get a few more points in and probably get another position up. Beefy running 6th right now, and he's running a pretty good position in this race as it is there right now. Currently 6th with 64 points and might be looking pretty good in terms of gaining a few positions on the driver standings as we have it there. DTB's running 7th in the driver standings with 51 points. Dean, who is not racing right now, is 8th in the standings with 39 points. Jay Kelly 9th with 18 points. Vintage 10th with 15 points. Cody there 11th with 15 points. Savdar there 12th with 10 points. Butler 13th with 6 points. We got Seb there 14th with 4 points. Haywood 15th with 4 points. Harvey 16th with 2 points. Scooby 17th with 2 points. And Nathan 18 with no points, as well as Fat Mamba and Sniper there no points as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the grid, how it's changed up so far from the roundup pit stop that we had during that safety car there. Alright, so far now we have it as Marcus now leading the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix behind the safety car. We have King Corp down to second after his pit stop. The safety car is going to be in on this lap, so we're about to get back racing. Beefy now running third in this race. DTB is running fourth. Mr. Rage in fifth. Maddie 6th. Vintage 7. Butler 8. Sniper 9. Codfish 10. Nick there 11. Scooby 12. Vans racing down to 13. Neil in 14. And Red Devil there running 15th in the race. Still an improvement even though he started 20 on the grid. Alright, so we're about to get back racing here right now as they get around the final turn and get back onto that pit straight. Let's see how this is going to go after the second safety car restart here. And now we got Marcus leading on 7 laps done on those hard tires. King Corp on very fresh, soft tires. He's going to get a pretty good run on the McLaren. And let's see what's going to go. BP as well on fresh hard tires now. So he's going to have a pretty good run getting ahead as well. DTB is on fresh medium tires. So quite a bit of different strategies on the drivers as we have it here as they continue on through this race. Then Mr. Rage on fresh hard tires, Maddie on fresh softs, Butler on very recently fresh mediums, and Vintage on fresh hards there as well as Nick there in 10th. So let's see how that's going out front. King Corp is having a pretty good run, already getting side by side with Marcus getting by up into P1. Takes away back the lead of the race here right now. Puts Marcus down to second place. Beefy coming there in P3 with DTBFs just behind the rear of his car. So 2 cars coming just behind Marcus under some severe pressure right now to keep second place in this race. And let's see if he's able to do that at this point. He should be able to go to the end of the race probably with the tires that he has on. But will he be able to hold on to that position? Because Beefy is already alongside and gets up into second place and takes that away. That's Marcus down to third right now. The next guy coming is DT Bevs here in the Williams. He's going to try and get a position up on the McLaren as well. And he's on fresh medium, so if Walker got by, he might be able to get back pretty easily, as he is a pretty fast driver around here. And he pushes it on the inside already to get that position up against the McLaren. And he's still side by side with him, trying to get around here at the moment. And that is him getting up into P3, into the podium position of this race. Marcus down to P4 right now, with Maddie now running just behind him. The Ferrari trying to get by that McLaren as fast as he can, because he does have Mr. Rage in the Alfa Romeo coming just behind. That is King Corp getting the fastest lap in this race so far. So not too bad at him getting back the lead. 1.9 seconds is a gap between him and Beefy, which is why Beefy was in a hurry to get past short Marcus there. Didn't want King Corp getting away with a gap out in front, which has already happened. 2.2 seconds he's away there right now. Still following on with Maddie here and Mr. Rage. Also Butler just behind Marcus here right now. So quite a lot of pressure being put on his end at the moment in terms of keeping that position. And here we go. We got Maddie with a very good slipstream, about to take it on the inside and gets around quite comfortably up into P4 in this race there. That is Marcus down to 5th position right now from second place where he started just behind, actually from P1 where he started after the safety car restart there. And he's already down to 5th. The next driver coming behind is going to be Mr. Rage there in the Alfa Romeo. Let's see if he's going to be able to get by. DT Bevs, of course, getting a pretty good run on Beefy out in front here for second place on the podium for a race finish. Let's see how that's going to work. Of course, no penalties in our top 10 drivers, top 11 drivers as we have it here right now. The bottom 3 do have penalties, and a bit of a switch happening between Sniper and Neil down in the back there, as well as Neil is on those fresh soft tires. So that's happening along the back. Not too bad of an overtake there. I'm trying to keep an eye on DT Bevs to see if he's able to get past the Red Bull of Beefy here right now. Having a bit of a difficult time. The gap is about 5/10 between them of a second. So let's see if that works out. Mr. Rage here getting a pretty good run on short. Marcus really trying to get by. Of course, he does have. Oh, he's going to push it on the inside. Marcus will locked up his tires just a little bit. And he's still behind. You're going to push it on the outside into turn 1. Let's see if he has enough room to get by here right now. And he's still pushing on through. Getting around the outside. Has to keep in the position. Almost hits the racing point of Butler there. He pulls out of the way. And they're still going on through. So Butler trying to get in on this battle as well to push himself another position up. Mr. Rage is going to try another overtake attempt in just about a few turns time as he gets back onto a next straight section of the track. We're still keeping an eye on the gap that DT Bevs has. Now this is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here, because Mr. Rage is going to get a good run on Marcus, as well as Butler here having a good run on Mr. Rage, all having DRS advantage as they get on through. And let's see if that Racing Point is going to try to get by here on this occasion or not. So holds it on. They hold on to their positions as they have it here right now. Mr. Rage having a pretty good run, but still trying to keep it as clean as possible here right now. Beefy out in front gets past DTBFs. They're going side by side. The Red Bull gets up into P2 in this race. That's DTBFs down to third place right now on for a podium finish still. But now Maddie about 3/10 behind of him. So he does need to be a bit wary of that and be concerned about that overtake happening too. So he might be losing another position and falling out of a podium place for the race finish here if he's not careful. Oh, and a bit of contact more as DTBS tries to get an overtake done. Him and Beefy have some contact. Maddie gets up into second place in the race, takes that position away from them, gets some advantage there. Beefy about 3/10 behind him still. I don't think he took any damage on the car. So he's still running pretty strong behind Maddie in the Ferrari right now, trying to get by if he can. And DTBS has lost some time. He's about 1.1 second behind Beefy at the moment. And that contact cost both of them some time here. So now Beefy has to try and get past Maddie to get back into second place in the race if he does want that. Let's see if that's going to go. Vintage and Nick down in the back there switching positions. That's his teammates that are switching positions in the race. Let's see who's going to get out in front. So still following on with the Red Bull of Beefy here at the moment. Still a gap about 4/10 between him and Maddie here at the moment. Now DTBF still is trying to catch up to these guys as much as he can. Butler here in the Racing Point down in 7th at the moment. Trying to get past short Marcus here for 6th place. Let's see how that's going for him. Doesn't seem to be going pretty well. He's trying to get a good run using his DRS and overtake advantage. He gets around the outside and might actually be able to keep that position here. Let's have a look on the overhead cam at the moment. So the Racing Point of Butler does get up into P6 right now. That's Marcus down to 7th right now. He's lost 6 positions from the safety car restart up to this point and gets a 3-second penalty there, I think, or that was that Butler getting that penalty. No, I think both of them has penalties at the moment as it is there right now. Out in front, Maddie here has lost second place back to Beefy now, who is now up in his position back on to second where he was at the moment before the contact with DT Bevs that cost him that position there. Now DT Bevs is now within a second of Maddie here. He's going to have some DRS advantage and he's going to try to get up back into third place onto a podium position if he can for the race finish. We're on lap 17 of 28 right now through this race. We still got about another 10 to 11 laps more to go before we do get to the end here. So DTBF gets it overtake down on Mr. Rage, back up into P5 in this race here right now. Butler up into P4 so far, and he's trying to keep that position as much as he can. Mr. Rage is still chasing after DTBF here now at the moment. He's trying to get back to position if possible at this point. Short Marcus down to 7. Still chasing after Mr. Ray, trying to get a position back up if he can. Butler still about 3.1 seconds behind Maddie at the moment. So really not a close of a gap enough for him to work with at this point. Mr. Rage is definitely trying to close that gap, about 0.5 of a second between him and DT Best right now, and he's trying to fight it back through to get up that position. And he did fight his way up the field early on. Let's see if he's going to be able to do this once again. He's 5 laps done on those hard tires so far, as he's going to be pushing to the end of the race on them, so definitely not taking another pit stop. we got King Curb and Maddie here running 5 laps on these soft tires, so I'm not sure if they're going to be pushing to the end of the race or another 10 laps on those tires or not, but I really don't think those tires are going to be able to push all the way through to the end of the race. They might have to do another pit stop there, which is going to cost them P1 and P3 respectively. Let's see how that's going to work for them. Mr. Rage here not having the best of run, but out in front, Butler and DTBS fighting it off for P4 in the race. DTBS gets up into P4, puts Butler down to 5th right now. And Mr. Rage now getting a much closer gap as he gets ahead. We got Nick and Short Marcus here fighting it off for P7. Short Marcus is now down to 8th position in this race. Really not going too well for him on those all hard tires. Nick up to 7. Mr. Rage getting a very close gap now to the racing point in front of him. Let's see how it's going to work out in terms of him trying to get that overtake done, because we do have DTBFs just in front of Butler there as well, who's trying to keep his gap as where he has it and doesn't want to lose back that position. And Ethan there out of the race, unfortunately. Cheering on for his teammate here, Mr. Rage, who is still trying to get some decent points in this race for the team. And doing pretty well so far, so let's see how he continues on through. Gap is 4 tenths now between him and Butler. He's definitely pushing on through to try and close the gap as much as he can. Butler losing some time right now to DTBF, so this is mean Mr. Rage is losing time. The DTBF's out front, so he needs to get by that racing point as fast as he can right now. Closest gap that we have, I think, is between here and then between Maddie and Beefy out front. Of course, Maddie doesn't seem like he's gaining any time on Beefy to get back into 2nd place right now. I don't think Beefy's going to allow him to get that done either, as Beefy is trying to break the 11.5 second gap he has to King Corp, who's leading the race out front. So let's see what's happening down in the midfield here right now. Still following on Mr. Rage and Butler. See how they're going to get on through. And on board we're going to go right now. Let's see, DRS advantage, the overtake definitely will help, and the slipstream works as well. He gets alongside the racing point and looks like he should comfortably get up that position into 6th. So down to 6, goes to Butler there. Mr. Rage up into 5th place in the race right now, and quite a good overtake actually, and he should be able to hold on to that position there. Let's see if the racing point is able to come back at him. Does have DRS advantage coming down this straight here as well, but doesn't seem like he's gaining any time on Mr. Rage. Gap is still about 4 tenths of a second, and Mr. Rage now getting a very close gap going to DTBFs out front, who Butler was losing time to. So he's looking pretty good so far of getting up another position if DTBFs is not having the best of time out front, and he's running on the mediums out front, so he should be able to have a bit more pace to keep ahead. But of course does have Mr. Rage in the DRS advantage here right now, which is not going to be good on his end. He's going to have to defend around some of the straight portions of the track where the DRS is going to be available and to much more than an advantage to him. Out front we still got Maddie and Beefy still fighting it out for P2 in the race. Gap is about 7 tenths between the two of them, so still not close enough for an overtake to happen as yet. So we're going to have to see how close of a run Maddie is going to get to Beefy there. So have a look, see what's happening with the two of them at the moment. On board we're going right now with Beefy and Maddie here. See what's going to happen down that straight as we're getting around there. We do have Mr. Rage and DTBFs coming around to that pretty soon as well. Mr. Rage losing some time right now down in the back there. He's going over a second. He's going to fall out of the DRS range. Beefy here and Maddie now. Let's see. He has DRS on overtake, whatever overtake he has. Beefy doesn't have any overtake left to use. So he's relying on his straight line speed of that car to just keep him ahead at the moment. Gap is currently about 13 seconds right now, 20.3 seconds between King Curb and Beefy. So King Curb is leading this race quite well. We're on lap 20 right now of 28. So still another 8.5 laps to go on those soft tires out front if he's able to hold on to them all the way to the end of the race. We'll see how that works for him. I'm trying to keep an eye right now on the gap between DTBFs and Maddie right now, because that's where our closest gap is at this point in the race. And DTBFs is up into P3 since we got Maddie and Butler into the pits there right now. That's going to put Mr. Rage up into P4 in the race at the moment. And he now has a chance of fighting DTBFs for final podium position in this race, because DTBF does have a penalty. So let's see how that's going to work. So Maddie finally taking his pit stop, getting off those worn off soft tires. We still have King Curb out front. He still needs to take another pit stop, I think, to get off those tires, because about 7.5 laps to go. I'm not sure if those soft tires are going to be making it all the way to the end of the race here. Alright, so let's see what's happening down out front. So we still got a big gap between King Curb and Beefy for the lead of the race. So Beefy looks like he's going to be settling for second place in this race. But of course, if King Curb does have to take that pit stop, then definitely he's going to be getting into the lead and taking the win for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're going to see how that works out for him. DTBF is a 1.1 second behind Beefy right now in this race, and Mr. Rage 1.9 second behind DTBFs. Nick, they're coming another 2.7 seconds behind. We'll see how that works out. Of course, let's have a look at penalties as it is right now. 3-second penalty for DTBFs. And Mr. Rage is within 2 seconds right now. He needs to keep that gap right where it is there and keep dropping it as much as he can here right now. Because if we do have King Curb taking another stop to get out those soft tires, then that's going to mean Beefy goes into the lead, DTBFs goes into second, and Mr. Rage will go on to third place for a podium finish and will get second place at the end of the race if he keeps the gap as it is there right now. Of course, he does need to hope that King Curb goes in for a pit stop just to make sure that he will be able to get onto a podium position before the end of the race here. So let's see if that's going to work out for him, if it is going to work out or not. Let's go down to the back here for a second and have a look at Sniper and Codfish right now. Ferrari and Williams fighting it out for a position. Butler gets a penalty there. So these two have a pretty close gap going here right now. Let's see if this is going to be going anywhere. Sniper trying to keep his position there in 12 if he can. Codfish trying to get around, goes a bit wider, a little bit too much on the brake to just avoid some damage. So rather just do that than take damage on the car, using his overtake as much as he can. Doesn't have DRS advantage as yet, so still pushing on through for try to get his overtake done. Has been quite an interesting session here with PGL Sunday Division so far. Very interesting with the qualifying session, as we qualifying 3 especially was very competitive with the lap times that we had there. And then a very interesting race start. 2 safety cars in the race so far, unfortunately, and 2 incidents that caused those. 1 big incident, especially with Mikey and Ethan and Gremlin involved on with that one there. That is Codfish getting up into 12 in the race there right now, and Sniper is not able to come back at him. King Curb into the pits there right now. This is going to be quite interesting of a chain. Beefy takes over the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix right now, and DTBFs goes into second place. Mr. Ray takes over third as it is right now. Of course, DTBFs has that penalty. Mr. Ray is within 1.8 seconds of DTBF's car right now, so will be able to take over second place on the grid on the finishing positions if he is able to keep it for the next 5.5 laps that way as it is there right now. If he does get ahead, but he will still be able to finish second because Beefy doesn't have a penalty as we have it there right now. And let's have a look. DTBFs gets away with the lead of the race somehow here. Gets ahead of Beefy. Had a pretty good run on the slipstream of Beefy getting through that straight portion of the track. And this is going to be interesting of a change here right now. Mr. Rage will still finish on the podium if he does finish like this, but Beefy will still get back the lead either way. But let's see, he's trying to fight it back right now, going around the outside of DTBFs, and it does seem like he might get a position up, going on board with DTBFs right now. Let's have a look what's happening here. Got Mr. Rage coming just behind of these guys, and DTBFs definitely fighting it very much with Beefy to get that position up. Hopefully he doesn't take another penalty, because that's going to cost him even more positions. So gap is still about 4 tenths between Beefy and DTBS right now. This might actually go to the end of the race with the battle that we have going on between these two here right now. King Corp here getting back very close behind Mr. Rage right now. So under pressure, Mr. Rage is here right now, losing that position because King Corp is on fresh soft tires. Mr. Rage on 11 laps on his hard, and he's now losing a position to King Corp, who's getting by there right now. So up into P3 he goes. Unfortunately, Mr. Rage down to P4, out of the podium position here. Let's see how this is going to work out. Of course, DTBF does have that penalty to serve there. Still, Beefy back up into the lead of the race. So DTBF's down to second. And he's trying to have a go at him again, going around the outside. Let's see if he's going to be able to keep it on this occasion. Carfish out of this race there down at the back. And that's a safety car. He's not going to be able to do the overtake back right now. So we're going to have a safety car for the next 2.5 laps or so in this race here. Unfortunately, because of Carfish's incident, so Beefy is going to have to stay in second place in the race as it is there right now. He's not going to be able to try and get that overtake back done right away. And let's see if this is going to trigger pit stops, because we're coming around to the pit lane entry here right now. This might just trigger a few pit stops on the grid as it is there right now. So let's have a look and see how that's going to work out. DTBF is currently leading the race. 11 laps on his medium. Beefy 11 laps on his hard tires. King Corp already did a pit stop. If those two decide to pit, King Corp will be getting back the lead of the race, and they don't pit actually, they get around and continue on and going. Down in the back of the grid, we might have some pit stops happening down in the back either way. Let's see, we do have a Red Devil into the pits there right now. 13th on the grid he is right now. Quite a number of drivers out on this race here as well as the previous one that we did early on today. So might be just a day of that happening. So let's see how this is going to continue on through here right now. Now, it is lap 25 of 28 right now. We're probably going to have maybe 2 to 3 laps of racing left in this race. Maybe 2 laps of racing left. We'll see how it goes. This depends on how long the safety car tends to stay out. We might just have 2 laps of racing as far as from what I can see here. We'll be lucky if we have 3 laps of racing left at the end to finish off this race here right now. But DT Bev's running in the lead of the race here. Got that overtake done just in time before the safety car happened. Beefy there now down to second. He's going to have to keep as close as he can. And both of them warming up those tires as much as they can right now. Getting ready for a race restart as soon as possible to get back going. Beefy is going to want this race to get started as fast as possible. DTBS might be happy if he finish on the safety car right now, just so that he can get a win for this race. But he does have that penalty. So either way, he will be losing the race win here for Abu Dhabi, because he might be able to cross the line P1, but he's going to finish the race in second place. But actually that's going to be quite a close one, because King Corp is right behind Beefy here now as well. We're going to have to see how the gap work out, because Mr. Raid very close behind as well. That's not even a total of 3 seconds as it is, but he does have a 3-second penalty, so he does need to be very, very careful of how much positions he's going to lose, if he's going to lose any positions after this safety car goes in. We'll have to see how that works out. So it looks like we're going to be going back racing on lap 27. So lap 27 and 28 is what we're going to be looking forward to of the remaining of racing laps that we have left in this session here right now, because that safety car is not going in as yet. It's going to be going at least for one more lap around the track. As soon as they get Carfish's car cleared off, we will be able to go back racing again. Okay, so we're going to have the safety car go in on this lap here right now. We're going to get back to racing. So once again, guys, thanks to all of you who joined on to the stream with us here this evening. And please, guys, make sure you do, guys, leave a like on the stream. And make sure if you're new on the channel to subscribe for all the future races that we do have. We do have another 2 races coming up tomorrow. And will be a first stream from one of the leagues. And continue on with another league as well. So let's see how that's going to work out for tomorrow as well. So do join on for those streams tomorrow. And I think that's going to be at, I even forgot what the times. I think it's going to be at 6 p.m. and 3 p.m. Or is it 7 p.m. and 3 p.m.? I'm not even sure what time it was. I should think it's at 6 p.m. and 3 p.m. Yep, it's 6 p.m. and 3 p.m. GMT time tomorrow for the stream. So please join us on then for those live streams as well. And just hopefully you guys will be in the live chat as well there. So we'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those races. We'll see how that goes tomorrow. So we're about to get back restarted here right now with the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix after our 3rd safety car in this race. Beefy has a pretty good run behind DTBFs here right now. Let's see if he's able to get by into that position. King Curve and Mr. Rage and Nick all coming just behind there as well. Maddie trying to get a position up on Butler there for a 6th position in this race. Let's see how that's going to go as they continue on going to the finish. And a bit of a gap, 7/10 of a second between DTBFs and Beefy here right now. Beefy is not going to be happy about that safety car because this is costing him the race win here right now. But he's still going to get the win even because of the penalty that DTBFs has. King Corp trying to get a go on him here right now, trying to get around and using the slipstream as much as he can. And let's see if he's going to pull aside and try to get that overtake done. He's going to be forced to take it around the outside. And Beefy's going to push it on the inside, but maybe a little late braking, holding him back. And Beefy keeps 2nd place in the race with a quite good defending on that there, getting through. And they're continuing on through with the same positions as we have it there right now. So King Corp still gonna have to try a bit more to get by Beefy, but he defends pretty well against this, and he's doing it once again, defending as much as he can. But there goes King Corp trying to push it on the inside. Unfortunately, not able to get it done. He needs to be a bit careful though. He might end up getting a penalty trying to get past Beefy here if he's not careful. Butler gets another penalty down on the back. Let's put penalties on as we're going to the end of the race here right now. So as we can see, 9 seconds of penalty so far. Oh, and a bit of contact between Beefy and King Corp there, almost causing Beefy to lose the car. And so still continuing on. So just a bit of minor contact, but still quite nerve-wracking to see that happen on the lap 27-28. We're about to go into the final lap here right now of this race. About 8/10 is a gap between DTBFs and Beefy as we have it. A very close gap between the Renault of King Curb and Beefy in the Red Bull there. So those two fighting it up. Mr. Rage looking on from behind there in P4, hoping to take each other out so he can get on back to a podium position. King Curb gets a 3-second penalty. That's going to be Mr. Rage onto the podium if he finishes the race without a penalty at this point here right now. And he's going to be quite happy about that if he does already know about it or doesn't know about it. I'm not sure. But going pretty well so far. Our King Corp is going to have a pretty good run on Beefy going down this straight for the very last time. Let's see if he's able to get that position. Beefy keeping all the way to the left of the track and definitely trying to keep the inside. And he's going to outbreak him once again as they get onto that turn. But I think King Corp has a better run on this occasion, and he might have the inside, might be able to get the overtake done. Beefy loses out on 2nd place, but he might still get the win here because with the penalties that these two have running P1 and P2, that's going to be Beefy moving up all the way into P1, and Mr. Raid probably getting 2nd place in this race as well, as we have it there right now, because King Corp and DT Bears running there both have penalties. We have DT Bears running P1 about 4/10 behind is King Corp, and 7/10 behind is Beefy. Another 3/10 behind is Mr. Rager. Mr. Raid looking to get by Beefy here right now as well as they go around the final lap on the final sector of the track, actually here getting around King Corp and having some trouble losing out. That puts Beefy back into 2nd place. I'm not sure if he had contact with someone or just lost the rear, so Beefy gets back 2nd. Mr. Rage gets back into 3rd as they're about to go across the line here. We got DTB, so he's going to cross the line. P1 will not be able to keep that position though, and I think he's even allowing them to get across the line first. Let's see what happens there. So he goes all the way down to 4th, as we can see there right now. We're going to have a look at the finishing positions as this race is over there. So Vans Racing coming around right now. So Beefy gets the race win on this one. Mr. Rage finishes 2nd on the podium. Nick finishes 3rd on the podium. DTBS goes down to P4. I'm not sure what happened to him before the finish line there. That cost him that there. But Maddie goes on P5. Short Marcus takes P6. And let's have a look at the final positions as it is there right now. And driver of the day goes to Mr. Rage there in the Alfa Romeo. Not a bad finish for him. Drove a pretty incredible race there today. Unfortunate for his teammate. Alright, let's have a look at our final position before we end up this stream here right now. So 2 incredible races for today. If you guys haven't had a look at both of them, do check it out there. Alright guys, so there we have it. BP takes the race win for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Mr. Ray takes second on the podium. Nick takes third on the podium. TTF's unfortunately has to take 4th place. And then we got Maddie there taking 5th. Short Marcus takes 6th. Vintage takes 7. Butler 8. King Curb 9. Sniper 10. Neil 11. Vans Racing 12. Red Devil 13. Codfish 14. Scooby 15. Walker 16. Gremlin 17. Mandate 18. Mikey there 19. Ethan 20th on the grid. And that's how we finish up. King Curb got the fastest lap in the session. Unfortunate for his finishing position though. But that's it how it stands. So thank you guys very much for joining on for the session here with us with PGL F1 Sunday Division. Was quite an incredible race. So please guys, make sure you guys leave a like on the stream and make sure you guys subscribe if you're new on the channel here. I'll see you guys again tomorrow for 6 p.m. and 3 p.m. for the next 2 races we have scheduled on this channel here. So see you guys then. Thank you guys once again for joining us. Don't forget to leave that like.